Hello everybody and welcome. Dr. Harley here. Welcome back to our channel. And if you're new here, welcome. And please click the like and subscribe and the bell notification. This way you get notified every time I upload a video. Now, none of my videos are sponsored. It really helped me out a lot if you subscribe to this channel. This is a new channel, and the more subscribers I get, the more content I'll put out. I've been putting out 2 videos a week. I'm going to try and continue to do that. I had some technical difficulties last night trying to get this video done. I've worked through those technical difficulties, so here we are. Tonight's video is all on soldering wires. That's right. So if you were, had to cut a wire and extend it, or you had a broken wire and you needed to repair it, I'm going to show you my preferred method, another method that you could use, and what not to do. And I'm going to save that what not to do to the very end. So, without further ado, we'll go over the tools you'll need. We'll go over everything that you're going to need to do this job. All right, so welcome back. I appreciate you. Here we go. Okay, I got our tools laid out here, and one thing you're definitely going to need is a good soldering iron, a pair of diagonal cutters, some wire strippers and crimpers, and some solder, and a piece of shrink wrap. Also, for the shrink wrap, you're going to need a good soldering heat gun. So, without further ado, let's go over some of the connections. The first one are these yellow butt connectors. I've seen them, you've seen them, I've seen them all over the place. They're good to use. You can always improve on it. You could use something like heat shrink over it. Because the problem with these is once you crimp them and you're done, you put them in your bike's always going to be exposed to the elements. So there's a chance for corrosion. The next one are these little, I call them traffic cone connectors. They're a crimp style connector. The wire goes in. You see them used a lot in audio shops and small electronics. And then lastly, and yes, I have seen them on motorcycles and in cars, are wire nuts that can be found at your Home Depot, Lowe's, hardware stores, and any and every household outlet plug fixture. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to strip some wire here. Now, you always want to make sure you have the gauge of your wire, and you want to strip your wires so that you have enough material to work with. All right. Twist your ends. This is my preferred method that I'm doing right now, and I like doing my wiring this way. It's a strong connection. It's a solid connection. You want to cut some heat shrink for you. I'll slide that over the wire, just like that. You're going to take your wires, you're going to hold them like an X, and then what you're going to do is you're going to twist one over the other. And you're going to make a nice, tight, solid connection. And I'm going to grab some solder. Now, the solder will always follow heat. So you want to make sure that when you solder these, that you get enough solder to penetrate all the wires and all the way around. My project's moving on me. Okay, now that that's done, let that cool off a minute, and we're going to slide the heat shrink up over our solder connection. So when you're done, it's going to look like that. Now I got to apply some heat to this with the heat gun. It's loud, I'm not going to do it, but that'll create a good, tight, solid connection that won't fail on you. Weather can't get in there, and it won't corrode on you. That's a good solid connection. to me, that is your preferred method of doing any sort of soldering of wires on your bike, on your car. To me, this is the best way to do it. The next way of soldering, let's turn our soldering iron back on. Yes, I always turn off my soldering iron when I'm not using it. It keeps it from overheating and failing. So, now, unlike the last one where I twisted the wires before I wrapped them, is we're going to leave the strands loose, because with this method, now I do not use this method, I don't practice this method, but it's another method that can be done. Basically what you're doing is you're taking the free strands of both of them and you're going to push them together. And making sure all your strands get nice and tight to each other. And that's what they call, not sure what they call it, but to me that is it's another good connection. The wires are intertwined, the connection will go through. So you're going to take your soldering iron with some fresh solder, and again, the solder will follow the heat, so it's a good idea to get all the way around, let it flow through. Just like that. Now we're going to put our heat shrink on. And again, that is a good, solid way of doing it. Now, another method, we're going to strip these down. We're going to strip them a little bit longer, because we're going to need some long ends for this method. And I'm not a big fan of this method. I've seen a lot of people do it. So what you want to do is you want to twist these so your strands don't fray on you. And you're going to take one and basically loop it around this way. You're going to loop the other one around this way. And it creates a good connection. But the problem I have with that is it creates a big knot of wire right there. And I don't want that. I don't like that. It is a good strong connection. I'm giving it a pretty decent tug. But I'm not a big fan of it. You know? So you can do it that way too. So I showed you my preferred method, an alternate method. Now I'm going to show you the crimp connection. Now a lot of people will use this connection because it's easy. You don't need a soldering iron for this. All you need is the wire strippers with the crimper. Alright, so what you're going to do, again, twist the wire so they don't fray. Going to put your butt connector inside the crimping section. And you're going to slide your wire in, and then you're going to crimp that down. And you're going to do the other side. So we're going to, again, get that on there, slide our wire in, oh, moved on me, and now we're going to crimp it down. So there you go. Got a good strong excuse me, good strong connection, but it's open on both ends, and moisture could get in there, your wires could corrode. You can't put a heat shrink over it, but Look at the size difference between a soldered connection and a butt connection. And when you're going to solder multiple wires, what you want to do is try and stagger your solder connections. This way, you won't build up this big knot of solder or solder connections in your wiring harness. If you stagger it, it won't be so obvious that there's been a wire repair, or if you're doing it for handlebars, you can get it through the handlebars a lot easier. Now, the last two that we're going to go over and discuss today is, one more is a crimp connector. So what you want to do is you want to take your two stripped ends, you want to twist them together, grab your little crimp connector for the hat. To me it looks like a traffic cone. And you're going to crimp it. It's a good strong connection. It's solid, but it's open. Moisture can get in there. Even if you have it up, moisture is still going to get up there. You're still going to corrode. And you're still going to could have problems in the future. Now, if you're on the side of the road, you're on a road trip, and that's all you have, that's great. That'll work. Speaking of that, you're broken down on the side of the road. Wire's not, is broken on you. You found it, and you want to get to home. You want to get home, and there's a Home Depot or a Lowe's or a hardware store, something around the wire nut. You want to strip your two ends, insert the wire nut, twisting it just like it says. It's a nut, and then that would get you home. Because not everybody carries soldering iron and solders, and not anybody carries it actually, but there's some methods of doing some wire repair, some soldering, and I hope this is a help to you. It was a huge help to me. Let's bring this back up. Hope this is a help to you. It's a help to me, and a lot of people don't really know how to solder, so here you go. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you and everything you do. And again, help me out. Click the like and subscribe. Until next time, live the best life you can, and ride hard and ride often.